January is turning out to be an absolute carnival when it comes to the World Cups, isn't it? There was the Hockey World Cup, but at the same time, there is another World Cup that is about to start in about 45 minutes' time. Yes, for the first time in the history of women's cricket, you're going to have the ICC Under 19 Women's World Cup, and it will be held in South Africa. January and February are a blockbuster month when it comes to women's cricket, because you're not only going to see the Under 19 World Cup being played for the first time for the women, you're also going to have the Women's T20 World Cup that will be also held in South Africa in February. Plus in March, let us not forget, for the Indian context, you're going to have the Women's IPL as well. The starting point of this carnival is the Women's Under 19 World Cup, and India are the favorites heading into this. You may think that it is very strange, but no. If you're talking about other events like the World Cup or any such thing, you would have thought that, okay, maybe Australia are the favorites or England are the favorites. How come in the Under 19 World Cup, India are the favorites? Because they are heading into the tournament very high on confidence, having won a lot of games. And plus they have two stars who have already made a mark in the international circuit. So without further ado, let me tell you what are India's chances in this World Cup, who are the top players to look out for, what is the format, and what is India's group. So the historic ICC Under 19 Women's World Cup begins today, and India will play South Africa, because India are placed in Group D along with the likes of South Africa, Scotland and the UAE. It's about fair that if India beats South Africa, then they can enter into the next stage, isn't it? Because unlike other World Cups, the Under 19 Women's World Cup is slightly different. So what is India's schedule? So mark these dates down in your calendar, folks, because you're going to see a lot of Under 19 Women's World Cup action in the next 2 weeks, because South Africa will be the first game that will happen today at Benoni at 5:15 p.m. IST, followed by on January 16th, Monday, you're going to see India take on the UAE at the exact time of 5:15 p.m. IST. Remember, it's a 2020 game. So from 5:15 p.m. IST till about 9 p.m. IST, you can see the women in blue in action, the girls in blue, if I may say. India finished their last league game on January 18th at 5:15 p.m. IST in Benoni against Scotland. Now, what is the tournament format? Now, you have to understand that the ICC Under 19 Women's World Cup has a slightly different format. Top three from each group play in the Super 6. Okay, so that means there are 4 groups, 12 teams. Top 3 from each group enter the Super 6. Now, in the Super 6 itself, there is going to be a big demarcation, because Group 1 will have teams from A and D. Group 2 will have teams from B and C. So, Group 1 will have 3 from A, 3 from D. Group 2 will have 3 from B, 3 from C. So, in that way, there are 6 teams, 12 teams together, even then. And so, A and D will face off against each other, and the top 2 sides from each of those groups, Group 1 and Group 2, they reach the semi-finals. So, you are actually playing a double round robin league if you have to look at it in this Under 19 Women's World Cup. Final will be towards the end of January, and the venues are at Potchefstroom and Benoni only. Now, why have I said that India are the favorites heading into the Under 19 World Cup? Because prior to the Under 19 World Cup, the India women's team have had tremendous success. At home, they defeated New Zealand 5-0 in the T20 ice. Then they also recently defeated South Africa 3-0, with 2 games getting abandoned due to rain. So, India have had tremendous success against New Zealand and South Africa. Prior to this, in the quadrangular that involved Sri Lanka, West Indies, India A and India B, it was India who dominated by reaching the final. And then towards the World Cup, they played 2 games, one against Australia, one against Bangladesh. They defeated Australia, but they unfortunately lost by 3 runs to Bangladesh. So in a way, looking at how India have dominated prior to the Under 19 Women's World Cup, it makes them a real clear favorite. There will be Australia, there will be England, there could be South Africa, the dark horses could be England and the West Indies. But at the same time, you cannot say that India are on top when it comes to clinching the Under-19 World Cup, primarily because of the players who are in the team. Now, who are the players to watch out for? We all know the potential that this individual can give. The captain of the Under-19 Women's World Cup team from India, Shefali Verma. Then, I'll just come to Shefali Verma later, but here, one more name that you have to look at it is Harlee Gala. Harlee Gala is an all-rounder from Mumbai and she has taken 6 wickets in 2 games versus New Zealand. That is the reason why she is one of the key players in this team. Then you've got Richa Ghosh. Richa Ghosh, if you may have to understand, she is one of the best keepers currently in the Indian setup. She has a very unique way of appealing as well. And let us not forget, in the series against Australia that was played, which India lost, but they won that one game, it was Richa Ghosh's exploits that ensured India had a chance. Every single time her aggressive hitting kept India in the game, but unfortunately she lacked support. So Richa Ghosh could be one of the key wicket keepers in this Under-19 World Cup. And again, just like Shefali Verma has had great international exposure. Soumya Tiwari. She is a batting all-rounder who hails from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. And she scored an aggressive 50 during one of the games against New Zealand. And so Soumya Tiwari is expected to be one of the pillars in that middle order if India are to do very, very well. When you have to look at medium pace, you need to look at Shabnam MD. She hails from Andhra Pradesh. And she, in the recent series against South Africa, she impressed by taking 3 for 15. So she's got a bit of pace, she's got a bit of movement, and she will be one of the stars heading into the ICC Under-19 Women's World Cup. Then you've got Shweta Sehrawat, who hails from Delhi. She's also a batting all-rounder, but she's an off-spin bowler who recently scored 40 versus South Africa. Sehrawat, then if you have to say Sehrawat and Soumya Tiwari, these 2 players are really, really important when you have to look at the exploits that the Indian cricket team has had. But I will say, I will preserve the next for the last. I was saying Shefali Verma. Her 6-hitting capability in international cricket is really, really unparalleled. Shefali Verma, if you have to say, at such a young age, she's not even turned 19, but from the very beginning, she has shown her capability when it comes to women's cricket. Imagine her strike rate in women's T20Is is a staggering 134. And she's already gotten exposure in a lot of international cricket and in several leagues. So Shefali Verma and Richa Ghosh's inclusion is truly, truly a asset for the Indian cricket team. And that is why I say they are one of the teams to look out for in this Under-19 World Cup. So at 4:45 or maybe at 4:50, you will see the toss happening between India versus South Africa. How will India develop from this point on remains to be seen, because Richa and Shefali Verma will be very, very crucial for India, even in the Women's T20 World Cup. That will happen after this. So it is a blockbuster 3 months for India women's cricket, with this being the first, the ICC Under-19 Women's World Cup in South Africa, followed by the Women's T20 World Cup again in South Africa, and in March you have the Women's IPL. So it's a great day for India women's cricket, and one hopes that this is the start of something very, very spectacular. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates, and we will also bring you updates of the India versus South Africa Under-19 Women's World Cup. Press a like, comment and share button. We are also there on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Thank you.